righty. Think we're ready? Another great sweatshirt, Chris. What year was that one?
This was a UCLA Northwestern Clash Sun Bowl, December 30th, 2005.
2005. Okay, so maybe Brett Bassinet was the quarterback for Northwestern.
Yeah, 2 onside kicks returned for touchdowns by UCLA, still an NCAA record.
And you were covering the game?
No, I was in the upper corner.
You were just hanging out at the Sun Bowl in El Paso. Who wouldn't be? It makes total sense. Why not? And sit up in the corner.
Actually does make sense.
I love it. You didn't get to Juarez, though, did you? You didn't go across the border?
I've been to Juarez, not
you have?
particular. I think that was a high.
You've been to Juarez, Mexico?
Yeah, but that was
we got to talk. That's
type 2005.
That's unbelievable.
And I'm back.
North Korea.
Yeah.
Really? Wow. A lot of conversations to have there. We got to talk ball. So, yeah, right. Exactly. We could talk about Inverwood too. Good golf course. So it's just it keeps going. But short week, divisional opponent, home game. That's really where our focus is. So I think the Lions have looked really good on tape. It's a defense that looks fast and physical and productive and good scheme, and they execute it well. So, we've got to have a great day today and just start building towards Sunday.
In terms of going against the blitz and pressure, you probably didn't do as well as you would have hoped on Monday. What do you got to do to do better in that particular area?
Yeah, a lot of cover zero we got against the Eagles, and we just got to be able to handle it, and make plays against it. It's something that we'll see throughout the year, and we've seen a lot in the past, and it's important to handle it well. We didn't handle it well enough on Monday night.
How often the Lions have blitzed so far this season? Is that a product of who they are under Aaron Glenn, or is that just who they've played so far, you think?
I think Aaron does a great job of mixing up his looks and adapting that within a game, what's working, what he feels is working. So I'm sure he's able to be pretty flexible. I'm sure he also knows that, if you can pressure and try to, make some plays that can help. So I think it is week to week to answer your question, and you have to just get a feel, and really play to play even, and just be ready for the whole gamut of what you could get.
And when you're coming off the result you guys are, do you kind of expect that again coming into another week, kind of copycat week kind of stuff?
I think you're always ready for what you've put on tape and what other teams have put on tape. I think you're always ready for that and have a plan.
You think you guys, Coach touched upon it, were you maybe pressing a little bit too much, especially with some of those interceptions and that sort of thing? Because he said, if you'd gotten field goals on that drive, it might have ended up being a one-possession game.
Yeah, I think that's what's so important about red zone offense is making sure you come away with 3 points and never feeling like you're out of it. There's so many times where you are behind, but you just need to, chip away. And know that anything can happen. The game can turn on any play. It can be a special teams play. It can be a defensive play. And so you don't need to, be overly aggressive or try to get it all back. And you can just chip away and take what they give you. And I would say that was specific to one of the interceptions. I think each one is kind of its own deal. But certainly one of them I felt I could have been a little more conservative and just just it down.
Which one was that?
The one that the nickel picked off in the high red zone. Just trying to be aggressive, but also not to a point where it hurts you.
When you have so few plays in a game like that, obviously means you're not moving the ball as much as you want. But is there also a compounding effect of just not getting as many people involved and not kind of getting into that play calling? I
think so. I think it does have a compound effect. I think the opposite is true. I think when you have a lead and you're running the football well and converting your third downs, it snowballs the other way too, where now suddenly everybody's involved. You're able to stay really balanced. You're getting a lot of touches to your playmakers. So it does go both ways. And so in the first half, especially with the 3 and outs, you just are unable to be as productive as you want to be.
What are you seeing from opposing defenses in terms of your running game? Are they trying to, line up to get you to change plays out of running plays and into passing, or are you seeing anything that would suggest, what their strategy is against you guys?
Not a consistent theme. I think it's a mixture of fronts. It's a mixture of ways to fit those fronts, whether it be with also a mixture of personnel groupings of how they're lining up and with who they're lining up. So it's a variety, and I do think that, like at the end of the Packer game, I remember C.J. Ham was telling me how we were pretty balanced run to pass, and I said, well, when you have a lead and you're going into what we call 4-minute mode where you're trying to run the clock down, that allows you to be balanced because you're run. And then when you're converting your third downs running the football as well, now you get 3 more chances to run, and run the clock down before you eventually punt or the game's over. So the opposite's also true when you are behind and you're having to throw the ball. You just don't even get that chance to run the football and play downhill like that.
What about in the first half, Monday night, before sort of they took that lead? I mean, in terms of the running game, Kevin said he wished he had pushed the run harder, but
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes even if you push it, the defense, will have a response there.
Sure, and I think third down conversions make a difference as well. So if we don't have a productive run on first down and third down, then we don't convert. Now we just missed out on a potential first or second down call or third down call to run the football again. So it kind of all ties together, and it's amazing how when you're efficient in one area, it can help the other area take off.
Kirk, what are your thoughts on today's schedule, not practicing on Wednesday?
I think it's important that we get plays run, and that's really what today's about. Is the jog through periods allow you to get plays run. And so that's really where it is the detail, the execution, lining up, hearing the play, getting in and out of the huddle, knowing what your depth is, knowing your steps, your progressions, going through the mental and really the physical movements of what you need to do. That's so important to Sunday's execution. And the full speed we'll get tomorrow, we'll get Friday. But getting a lot of plays run, I think, is what's really important, and we can get more run in that jog through mode than if we're a full speed practice.
You guys already had the walkthrough. You do a walkthrough today?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Has David's experience with the Lions helped already in a short week, or do you think it will?
We'll certainly have those conversations and have already, and you just try to get all the information you can and find ways to have it help you.
You've had some good games, obviously, against the Lions. Your thoughts on how you've played against the Lions, and then how does this Lions team stack up? They certainly seem improved.
Yeah, I think highly of them. I think highly of their coaching staff, of their players. I think they're a team that has a lot of character and talent. So it's going to be a great challenge. I've always felt that they've been a challenge, and I expect Sunday to be no different.
Kirk, Kevin kind of talked about losses or when the idea of culture and what you're trying to build really gets put to the test. How, I guess, have you seen him respond? I know you guys haven't had the team meeting yet, but how have you seen him respond coming out of it, and just even what you know about him responding to losses?
I mean, he's handled it well. He's handled it as you guys would expect, knowing him. I mean, he's got class and he's a mature person. But there's no doubt that I've been a part of teams or have observed teams, even going back to high school, college, where when you're winning, you can be pretty dysfunctional, and it's never going to come to the surface because you're winning. And the opposite's true too. You can be a really healthy locker room, a really great group that sticks together, and if you're not winning, or if you didn't win recently, you feel like the sky's fallen. And so you have to fight both those sides of it. And I think in my 4 years here, this is now my 5th season here in Minnesota, I've always felt really good about the group here in the locker room and the way guys have had resolve and kept playing and stuck together, and so that's continued certainly, coming off of Monday.
Kirk, what do you like about the versatility of having both Irv and Johnny at tight end? It seemed like both their skill sets were kind of on display in that game.
Yeah, I think it's important always to try to use the versatility the tight end position brings, just in the nature of the run game, the pass game, the West Coast drop back game, the bootleg game, play actions. There's a lot of versatility that you can take advantage of, and Ben, Johnny, and Irv really give us the ability to be multiple. And I think you really can throw C.J. Ham into that group of a player who can, line up on the field, and there isn't really a giveaway as to what their role is and how they're going to help us. So I think it's a big part of an offense being successful, having those guys.
For this offense to be as explosive and efficient as you guys have discussed, I mean, how important is succeeding on early downs throughout the course of a game, early and throughout?
I think staying on schedule is always important, and you're very aware of it. I also think that if you inevitably have the play where you got a penalty and now it's 1st and 15 or 1st and 20 or a negative play and whatever it may be, they're going to happen. Then you have your get back on track. So then what's your plan to get back to a manageable 3rd down and get back on the right down and distance? So you have plans for both, and it's important to execute at both, and that's where our focus is every week.
Any part of you, Kirk, think back to that loss to the Lions last December when it was their first win and, put a bad taste in your mouth? Any thoughts going back to that game as you prepare to face them again?
Yeah, I think you go back to previous contests against them. You're aware of how those games transpired, and I think the first time we played them, we sort of snuck out with one. And so you're aware that last year both games were very close football games, and that's where you realize, hey, one play, 1 second on the clock really can be the difference in winning or losing in this league, and certainly proved true last year against Detroit, and you're aware of that as you prepare for this one.
Spartans Gophers, who you got?
What a great question. This has not happened, I don't know, since I've been here. Obviously, I ride with the alma mater, but I've always said the Gophers are my Big Ten West team. I don't even know if they still call it the Big Ten West or East with adding USC and UCLA in the future. We'll see what happens. But Minnesota's off to a great start, 3-0, and they've blown people out. So I love seeing them succeed. And what would be great would be, I think Michigan State's in the East. If the two of them could meet in the Big Ten championship game, that would be awesome. So hopefully we can make that happen. But certainly Spartans got to pick themselves up after what happened out in Seattle last weekend. All righty. Would I? Good. All right. Thanks, guys.